$74,900. That is the asking price for a house in Kansas City, Missouri. Not a vacant lot, not a teardown waiting for a bulldozer. A house, with a basement, with hardwood floors, with a kitchen that opens into a dining area, and bedrooms big enough actually to put furniture in. $74,900. That is less than what some people pay for a truck. Less than a year of rent in most American cities. Less than the median price of a single parking space in Manhattan. And it is the cheapest property on this list, which means the other 9 somehow managed to offer even more. Missouri is one of those states that people overlook until they stumble into a listing and suddenly cannot stop looking. Property taxes here are among the lowest in the country. There is no estate tax. The cost of living sits comfortably below the national average, and the landscape shifts from rolling Ozark hills to wide-open farmland to river bluffs without ever asking you to pay a premium for the view. The northern part of the state feels like the rural Midwest. The southern half feels like a different region altogether, all timber and springs and quiet valleys that seem to exist in their own time zone. This list has 10 properties scattered across the state, and a few of them made me set down what I was doing and read the listing a second time. One is a converted off-grid homestead on more than 10 acres with an annual property tax bill of $20. Another is a century-old farmhouse with bedrooms the size of small apartments and a metal roof that could outlast everyone reading this. 2 properties on this list stopped me cold, and we will get to both of them before this is over. Let us start with number 10, Property 10, Kansas City, Missouri. The listing describes it as charming, and for once that word does not feel like a stretch. Sitting on a standard city lot in an established Kansas City neighborhood, this is a traditional bungalow built in 1916. From the outside, it reads like something from an old postcard, the kind of house where the mailman knows your name and the porch feels like a natural extension of the sidewalk. Inside, the layout is straightforward. A living room with carpet and hardwood floors leads into a kitchen and dining combination that feels open without trying too hard. 2 bedrooms sit on the main level, both with enough room to arrange things the way you actually want them. There is 1 full bathroom and a full basement below, which in a house this age means real headroom and real square footage that most listings quietly ignore. The bones here are solid. Frame construction, composition roof, and 972 square feet of living space that someone clearly maintained over the last century. Kansas City needs little introduction. Professional sports, world-class barbecue, a thriving arts district, and an airport that connects to everywhere. The neighborhood sits near schools and major roadways with easy downtown access. Kansas City was founded in the 1830s as a trading post along the Missouri River and grew into one of the most important crossroads in the American West. The jazz scene here shaped an entire genre. A 2-bedroom, 1-bath home with a full basement in a major American city, built in 1916 with hardwood floors and a practical layout. The asking price is $74,900. That number alone would be worth a second look. But we are just getting started. Property 9, Lebanon, Missouri. This one hides at the end of a gravel road on 2 open acres, surrounded by mature trees and the kind of silence that takes a few minutes to adjust to. Built in 1976, it is a small ranch-style bungalow, 616 square feet, with 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. From the road, it does not announce itself. It sits back from the pavement and lets the land do the talking. Inside, the living space is compact but bright, with a combined living and dining area that catches natural light from multiple directions. The kitchen has solid cabinet storage and enough counter space to actually prepare a meal without rearranging everything first. Both bedrooms have windows that open to green, and the overall layout feels intentional rather than cramped. Central air keeps it comfortable in summer, and baseboard electric heat handles winter. The lot itself is unrestricted, which in rural Missouri means you can garden, keep animals, build a workshop, or simply leave it wild and enjoy the openness. Lebanon sits in Laclede County, in south-central Missouri, right along Interstate 44. The town has about 15,000 people and a quiet downtown that still functions the way small town centers used to. It was originally a stagecoach stop on the route between St. Louis and Springfield, and it has held on to that crossroads identity ever since. Bennett Springs State Park is nearby, one of the most popular trout fishing destinations in the state, and the surrounding countryside is classic Ozark Plateau, all ridgelines and creek bottoms and meadows that glow gold in October. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, 2 acres with no restrictions, and a location that balances solitude with convenience. The asking price is $92,500, recently reduced from $99,900. Property 8, Excello, Missouri. At the end of a gravel road in Macon County, there is a house that was built in 1910 and still stands like it has something to prove. This is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath farmhouse on 1.25 acres with an oversized detached garage, a metal roof, and metal siding that together create a maintenance profile most newer homes cannot match. The property faces south and catches light all day long. Inside, the rooms are generous. The first bedroom measures 16 by 15 feet. The second is 15 by 15. These are not modern builder-grade dimensions. These are rooms from an era when space was not rationed by profit margins. The kitchen is equally large at 16 by 15, with custom-built wood cabinets and a laminate finish that keeps things practical. Flooring shifts between original hardwood, carpet, and vinyl, depending on the room, and the overall feel is one of a house that has been steadily maintained rather than dramatically renovated. A bonus room off the back serves as an enclosed porch, 8 by 16 feet, the kind of space that slowly becomes the most used room in the house without anyone planning it that way. The property sits on a crawl-space foundation of stone and wood, which at 116 years old says more about the original craftsmanship than any inspection report could. Excello is a small, unincorporated community in northern Missouri, quiet in the way that only places with single-digit speed limits can be. It sits within the Macon School District and has easy access to Highway 63, which runs north to Kirksville and south to Columbia. Macon County was organized in 1837 and named after Nathaniel Macon, a congressman from North Carolina. The area was settled by farmers who recognized the rich soil of the northern Missouri prairie, and that agricultural character still defines the landscape. A 116-year-old farmhouse with bedrooms the size of small apartments, a metal roof, metal siding, custom cabinetry, and more than an acre of land. The asking price is $99,500. Annual property taxes are $161. The next property shifts the conversation entirely. Property 7, Iberia, Missouri. Tucked along a quiet road in Miller County, this one sits on 10 flat-to-rolling acres that include pasture land, wooded areas, and a pond. Built in 1960, it is a stone and block bungalow with 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and 864 square feet of living space. The construction material alone sets it apart. This is not vinyl siding over particle board. This is block and stone, built during an era when residential construction meant something would still be standing in 60 years, which it is. The interior is simple and functional. Exposed beams overhead give the main living area a sense of height and character that the square footage alone would not suggest. The layout spreads across a single level, with both bedrooms on the main floor and a full bathroom between them. A single-car garage handles storage or a vehicle, and the heat pump system keeps the house comfortable, without the complexity of a forced air furnace. Ceiling fans move air through the rooms in summer, and the overall energy profile is modest. But the land is really the story here. 10 acres with a pond, pasture, and timber, all in one parcel. The lot adjoins wooded areas on multiple sides, which effectively extends the sense of privacy well beyond the property lines. Horses are allowed. The views are panoramic. The kind of property where you walk outside in the morning and hear absolutely nothing but wind and birds. Iberia is a small town in central Missouri, population around 700. It was named after the Iberian Peninsula by settlers of Spanish descent, and its location in Miller County puts it within easy reach of the Lake of the Ozarks region, one of Missouri's most popular recreation areas. Fort Leonard Wood, a major Army installation, is about 30 miles to the south, and the surrounding countryside is a patchwork of family farms and forest that has not changed much in decades. 10 acres with a pond, pasture, timber, and a stone bungalow with exposed beams. The asking price is $175,000. Annual taxes are $376. Property 6, Alton, Missouri. Deep in Oregon County, at the end of a gravel road surrounded by almost 12 acres of Ozark woodland, there is a cabin that looks like it was built specifically for people who want to disappear for a while. And in a way, it was. Constructed in 2007, this 2-bedroom, 1.5-bath cabin sits on 11.65 unrestricted acres of mostly wooded land, with a second septic system and additional electric hookup already in place for future expansion or an RV setup. Inside, wood dominates every surface. Wood walls, wood ceilings, wood flooring. The vaulted ceiling with exposed beams opens the main living area into something that feels far larger than the 1,024 square feet the listing reports. A wood-burning stove anchors the room, the kind of feature that turns a house into a place people actually want to spend winter. The kitchen and living area share an open plan, and double-pane windows throughout let in light, while keeping the elements honest. A spacious covered porch wraps around enough of the exterior to make outdoor living a daily habit, rather than an occasional luxury. The property includes multiple storage buildings and a 2-car covered parking area, and the land itself is the kind of rolling, wooded Ozark terrain that hunters, hikers, and anyone tired of neighbors will immediately understand. The 11-Point River, one of the most pristine floating rivers in the Midwest, is just minutes away. Mark Twain National Forest surrounds the area on multiple sides. Alton is the county seat of Oregon County, with a population of just under 1,000. It was founded in 1859 and sits at the edge of some of the most undeveloped land in the state. The town has the essentials: a grocery store, a post office, a school. But its real appeal is geographic. This is deep Ozarks, the kind of place where the forest feels like it was there first, and simply allowed the town to exist. A cabin retreat on nearly 12 unrestricted acres, with a second septic and electric hookup, minutes from one of the best floating rivers in the country. The asking price is $189,900. Property 5, Sullivan, Missouri. This one requires a moment to process. 14 acres inside city limits, not 14 acres outside of town, not 14 acres at the end of a Forest Service road, 14 acres within the boundaries of a municipality, with city water and city sewer already connected. That combination rarely exists, and when it does, it usually does not come with a house. But this one does. Built in 1959, the home sits on park-like grounds filled with mature trees, open spaces, and the kind of natural screening that makes 14 acres feel like 40. The property has been used as a duplex, which gives buyers the option of multi-generational living, rental income, or conversion back to a single-family residence. Inside, northern cedar planks line the walls and ceilings, roughly 60 years old now, and carrying a warmth and grain pattern that no modern material can replicate. Rooms are generously sized with ample storage throughout. A wood-burning insert in the main living area adds heat and atmosphere in equal measure. The mechanical updates are thorough. New roof in 2024. Blown-in insulation added in 2010. Vinyl windows and siding keep the energy profile efficient. Propane furnace serviced annually. The property also includes a rock-out building with a metal roof, concrete floors, and a garage-style door, built solid enough to serve as a workshop, studio, or secondary storage. A 2-car carport sits ready for enclosure into a full garage. Sullivan is located in Franklin County, about an hour west of St. Louis along Interstate 44. The town has around 7,000 people, and a downtown that still has real businesses in it. Merrimack Caverns, one of Missouri's most famous tourist attractions, is nearby, along with the Merrimack River and Onondaga Cave State Park. Sullivan was established in 1860 as a railroad town and has quietly held on to its identity ever since. 14 acres inside city limits, a duplex-capable home with cedar interiors, a rock outbuilding, city utilities, and privacy that belongs on a rural homestead. The asking price is $189,900. Annual taxes are $958. Property 4, Lesterville, Missouri. There is a stretch of Highway 49 in Reynolds County where the road starts to feel less like a commute and more like an introduction. Trees close in on both sides. The pavement narrows. And then, on the right, a ranch-style home appears on 13.53 acres, sitting calmly in the middle of a landscape that most people only see from a canoe. Built in 1984, this is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath single-story home with a family room, a formal living room, and a separate dining area. The layout is generous by any standard, with the family room measuring 20 by 12 feet and the living room at 18 by 13. A fireplace in the living room provides heat and a visual anchor, and the overall floor plan moves logically from public spaces to private rooms without any of the hallway waste that plagues modern construction. Aluminum siding keeps the exterior low maintenance, and an attached garage handles vehicles and gear. The wraparound porch is the kind of feature that changes how you use a house. It stops being a structure and starts being a place where hours disappear without anyone noticing. The surrounding acreage is divided across 2 parcels, giving the property both legal flexibility and physical variety, open ground near the house and timber beyond. Lesterville sits in the heart of Missouri's Ozark recreation corridor. The Black River runs nearby, one of the finest fishing and floating rivers in the state. Johnson's Shut-in State Park, with its billion-year-old rock formations and natural swimming areas, is a short drive away. Elephant Rock State Park, where massive granite boulders sit like sculptures in a forest clearing, is equally close. Mark Twain National Forest blankets the surrounding hills. This is an estate sale being sold as is, which explains the price. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 13.53 acres, a wraparound porch, and a fireplace. Minutes from 3 state parks and some of the best river access in the Midwest. The asking price is $190,000. Annual taxes are $450. Property 3, Potosi, Missouri. 11 acres of wooded land just off Highway 8 West, with a 2-story home that offers the kind of space most suburban developments have quietly eliminated. Built in 1988, this 3-bedroom, 3-bath residence spreads across a story and a half, with the main floor featuring a spacious living area that opens directly to a large covered deck overlooking the property. 1 bedroom sits on the main level, and 2 more occupy the upper floor, each with access to a full bathroom. The attached 2-car garage is not an afterthought. It has extra ceiling height suitable for a car lift and is heated by a wood stove, which turns it into a year-round workshop. 2 carports provide additional covered parking, bringing the total sheltered vehicle capacity to 6. The property also includes 2 rental pads, one currently occupied and one available, which opens a revenue stream most rural properties cannot offer. Major systems have been recently updated. The septic system is 2 years old. The well pump was installed 6 months ago. These are the kinds of upgrades that do not show up in photographs, but determine whether a property is truly move-in ready or quietly waiting to hand you a 5-figure repair bill. Potosi is the county seat of Washington County and one of the oldest settlements in Missouri, founded in 1763 by French lead miners. The town sits at the edge of Mark Twain National Forest, with access to Huzzah Valley Resort, Bass River Resort, and Wimka Trout Lodge. Lead mining shaped the region for 2 centuries, and the mineral-rich hills still carry that history in their exposed rock faces. 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, 11 wooded acres, a heated workshop garage, 2 rental pads, and recently updated well and septic systems. The asking price is $249,900. Annual taxes are $476. I thought that was the strongest deal on the list. Then I found the next 2 properties, and the pricing stopped making sense entirely. Property 2, Mountain Grove, Missouri. At the very end of a private road in Wright County, past the point where GPS starts feeling more like a suggestion than a guarantee, there is a farmhouse sitting on top of 10 fenced acres with a view that stretches in every direction. Built in 1950 and thoughtfully expanded in 1994, this 3-bedroom, 2-bath home carries 76 years of history without showing its age the way you would expect. The front door opens into a cozy living area, anchored by a wood-burning stove, the kind of heat source that makes a house feel occupied even when you are just passing through. The kitchen and dining room flow together naturally, with a mudroom off to the right that handles boots and coats and the daily reality of living on working land. To the left sits 1 bedroom. To the right, a 2nd bedroom connects directly to the master through a Jack and Jill arrangement that was added during the 1994 expansion. 2 full bathrooms serve the home, and the flooring alternates between hardwood and vinyl depending on the room. Outside is where this property separates itself. 10 fully fenced acres, multiple outbuildings for storage, a shop building with electric service, a below-ground storm shelter, a 4-car garage. The panoramic views from the hilltop are the kind that make you stand still for a moment before walking inside. The seller has offered to replace the roof during escrow for a full-price offer, which removes the one concern a buyer might reasonably have. Mountain Grove is a small city of about 4,000 people in the southern Missouri Ozarks. It was founded in 1882 along the railroad and has served as a quiet agricultural center ever since. The surrounding area is classic Ozark hill country, all springs and timber and cattle farms that stretch to the horizon. It sits roughly halfway between Springfield and West Plains, with access to both without belonging entirely to either. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 10 fenced acres, a wood-burning stove, a 4-car garage, a shop with electric, a storm shelter, multiple outbuildings, and panoramic hilltop views. The asking price is $239,000. Annual property taxes are $351. And then there is property number 1. Property 1, Gainesville, Missouri. $20. That is the annual property tax on this place. Not $200. Not $2,000. $20. Sitting on 1032 acres of gently rolling, wooded Ozark land just outside Gainesville, this is a turnkey off-grid homestead in a subdivision designed specifically for sustainable, independent living. The property includes 2 separate dwellings. The first is a 384-square-foot tiny home, paired with a 400-square-foot covered porch that essentially doubles the usable living space. A courtyard and full outdoor kitchen extend the footprint even further, and the home is equipped with a propane refrigerator and 2-burner propane stove for cooking that does not depend on a power grid. The second dwelling is a 640-square-foot converted shed, with a warm wood exterior and a comfortable interior. This one is fully solar-powered. It includes a propane refrigerator, a rainwater collection system with 2 325-gallon storage tanks, and a composting toilet. A patio area and select furnishings come with the property. A fenced backyard handles dogs or small livestock, and additional improvements include animal pens, a dedicated woodshed, and a storage shed. Some livestock may be available for separate purchase. Both homes have wood-burning stoves or fireplaces for heat. Double-pane windows throughout keep things insulated. The access road is gated, and the entire property carries the quiet confidence of a place that was built by someone who understood exactly what self-sufficient living requires. Gainesville is the county seat of Ozark County, one of the least populated counties in Missouri. The town has fewer than 1,000 residents, and the surrounding landscape is deep Ozark forest, spring-fed rivers, and ridgelines that have not changed in centuries. Bull Shoals Lake is nearby, offering some of the best bass fishing in the country. Norfolk Lake sits just across the Arkansas border. The area draws homesteaders, hunters, and anyone who has decided that quiet is not a luxury but a requirement. 2 homes, 10.32 acres, solar power, rainwater collection, outdoor kitchen, animal pens, gated entry, and a wood-burning stove in a subdivision built for off-grid living. The asking price is $197,500. Annual property tax is $20. That is not a typo. $20 a year. Most Americans spend more than that on a single dinner. Missouri does not advertise itself the way some states do. It does not chase trends or promise reinvention. It simply sits in the middle of the country with affordable land, low taxes, and properties that make you wonder why anyone is paying 4 times as much for half the space somewhere else. Every house on this list is real. Every price is current. And every one of them is waiting for someone to stop scrolling and start paying attention.